always like to start with a little Horton history. I know Kirk talked about it a little bit, but Horton Automatics has a very rich history. Horton Automatics, for those of you that don't know, Horton Automatics designed, invented, if you will, the first automatic sliding door ever to be sold in North America. And so that we believe that shows, once again, rich history. We've been doing this a long time. And so, Jim, if you could move on to the next slide for us. Okay, so back in the 1950s, Mr. Lou Hewitt worked at Horton Glass Company, which the remnants of Horton Glass Company is just down the street. So all that's left now is just an old wooden foundation of the original Horton Glass Company. And it was owned by D. Horton, hence the name Horton Automatics. Lou Hewitt was hired to be a shop manager for the glass company. And he began experimenting with the idea of an automatic door operator, which consisted of something similar to a bicycle pump, which is a cylinder with a piston rod in it. And he actually started by using water as the medium. So he would introduce water to one side of the piston and drive the piston rod out of the cylinder, and then introduced water pressure to the other side of the piston and pushed the piston the other way and controlled the escaping water on the other end and to make it automatic. He's quickly switched over to air, and in 1960 it had developed to the point they decided to form the company Horton Automatics. So Horton Automatics was formed in 1960, he's talking through some of the key points. Mr. Hewitt landed the first account with H-E-B store, which is a local grocery store. Through the years, Stanley partnered with us and used some of our technology to automate their doors. We needed, at that point, getting into the later 60s, it became apparent to Horton that we needed a way to market our product. We were just a very small company in Corpus Christi, didn't really have a way to market our product. And so we reached out looking for ways to expand. Overhead Door Corporation found us, and 1969 we became a division of Overhead Door Corporation to utilize the distribution channels that Overhead Door Corporation already had in place to distribute their products. And that was the beginning of the, go ahead, Jim. Just interesting piece. This was what our order log looked like, back in the day. And this actual log is upstairs in a display case. We get a chance, maybe some of you will get a chance to go up through the offices and see that. But that was the original order book. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Our AV guys bailed out on us, so that's fine. I don't really need that. Okay. Horton Automatics has had a lot of firsts. Once again, Mr. Hewitt patented the first automatic sliding door. We actually have the patent. It's dated, I believe, 1963 for the first. That's fine. You can leave it there. The first patent. And then 1970 came along, blew the building down that we were in, the one I told you about with the wooden floors. And so Overhead Door Corporation bought us a new started a new building. The next slide. There you go. Now the arrow should move it over. Keep going. Well, there we go. Okay, so just to kind of area view, in 1970, Overhead Door Corporation built this building for us. We're actually sitting in this building right now. And then you can see the progression. of how the building, we added an extension in 72 because we need a little bit more room. The company's starting to grow. We need a little bit more room. 84, we built this area here, which is the over there on the other side where the two-story area where the offices are contained now. And then 1986, we expanded again for a considerably larger manufacturing area, and then again in 1993. We no longer lease these buildings. We've given up these leases because we have been successful at moving a big portion of our manufacturing portion to Matamoros, Mexico. We do our machine shop work there. We do our swing operator assembly there. We do some of our sheet metal work there. We do our revolving door manufacturing there as well. Just some key points. 1976, we introduced the linear drive operator. In 1979, the low energy swing operator was introduced. We're going to talk more about those. 1980s, we had the 4000 full power heavy duty swing operator, which is still a market leader today, still recognized as one of the best swing operators on the market. Won't spend a lot of time here, but this is just a list of some of our products that we've had through the years. I'd like to also add to this, it's not on the slide, go ahead to the next slide. 1985, revolving doors were introduced at Horton Automatics, and that has been a product that has really grown for us, all the way from small diameter manual revolving doors up to 16-foot large diameter revolving doors, 3-wing type. For a while, we had a stint with the 2-wing revolving door that you see outside, but we're not sure where we're going to go with that going forward, whether we're going to continue to offer that or not. So the other thing I wanted to add that's not on the slide is that Horton was also the first in 1970 to gain the first UL approval for emergency breakaway, the panic breakaway on slide doors. Horton was the first to do that. So we have a lot of firsts at Horton. Like I said, we've been doing this a long time. Go ahead. 1998, Sanwa Shutter was our parent company in Tokyo, Japan, bought the company, and it has been good for us. So this is what I talked about earlier. This is our Matamoros facility. You can see it's a very modern facility where we do our machine shop, sheet metal, swing operators, and it's been very successful for us. Go ahead. And then we purchased. We began to take on some distributors of our own. This is a group of the distributors that are owned by Horton, part of the overhead door Horton Automatics family. They do operate independently, but they're part of us. We have the Horton Ontario up in Canada, Texas Access, which has Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas, I believe. This advanced door over in Durham. We've got door controls in New Orleans, and then some of these advanced Allegheny, Eastern, and Del Mar are really kind of part of Automatic Door Enterprises out of Lansdale, Pennsylvania, which has for many, many, many years been our top performing distributor in the country. I think that's the last of the slides. Yeah. Okay. So I tried to pare that down just a little bit. Any questions regarding Horton and the history of Horton, where we came from, where we're going so far? Okay. So